Mic check 1 2. It's the Boba Joe crew. Mark Lennon, Johnny Sorensen coming straight to you. Talking classic eras, yeah, we setting the scene. Films, games, tunes, toys, you know what I mean? From the old school vibe, feeling so divine. Boba Joe show, drop the beat so low. Heavy bass lines make your speakers blow. Kicking it classic from heads to the toe. Yeah, baby, yeah, watch the Boba Joe show. Mortal Kombat, Predator, Scarface in the flow. Miami Vice vibe, MacGyver on the go. Alien screams, NBA Jam all night. Pro wrestling legend, shining ever so bright. Macho Man Randy, Ric Flair. Yeah. Show, drop the beat so low. Heavy bass lines make your speakers blow. Kicking it classic from head to toe. Yeah, baby, yeah, watch the Boba Joe show. Action figures lined up, ready for the fight. Ninja Turtles power shining ever so bright. Transformers roll out, masters of the universe. Classic memories can't be reversed. Yeah, baby. Boba Joe, that's the flow. Boba Joe, Boba Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a special edition of the Boba Joe Show with Kiwi GI Customs.
Cheers, buddy. How's it going?
Good, good. What have you been working on lately? Got any cool customs, interesting videos? What have you been up to?
I've got something in the pipeline at the moment. I'm not going to reveal what it is, but it is. I can basically say it's a crossover, which I've discovered.
Cool. Like
it's a G.I. Joe crossover with something. So it was meant to be due pretty soon. Well, by the time this is recorded, you actually will see it. So, but I've got something else in mind coming in line with a unboxing on the Brits podcast.
Oh, nice.
Princess Leia. I'm finally going to unbox this baby. And I was going to do a custom with her, but nah, she's too good. She's too good to be custom.
Got a bonus Ewok in there.
Yeah, there's two. And I promised that to my daughter too, the Ewok. But honestly, I've kind of taken a shine to it. It's been sitting in my Joe room or G.I. Joe headquarters for must be 2 to 3 months now. And every time I come in here and look at it, I've fallen in love with it. So yeah, I'm keeping it. Sorry, darling.
Nice.
I'll buy something else. And what about yourself, buddy? What have you been up to?
Oh, not much. Just like working away and doing the usual things. I've been going back to the gym again recent months, so I've been doing that at least a couple of times a week. Sometimes 2-3 times a week, but I just rotate through different exercises. Been pretty active in that. Yeah. And trying to get back some of what I lost about 10 years ago when I used to go regularly.
I know the feeling, mate. Yeah. I've said it before. Well, behind the scenes, I've talked about like I've been doing seated Tai Chi because I burned out at the end of last year and I've only just come right. So I don't want to repeat performance. So I'm just taking it nice and slow and seated Tai Chi. It sounds real gay-like. Sorry to say that. I don't want to say anyone. Sound real pussy-like. It's probably worse.
Oh, it's quite challenging.
But believe you me, it is not, man. I'm feeling in here.
Mm-hmm.
But because I've got bad knees, seated Tai Chi is really good for me. So I've actually switched from being quite physical and all that, like heavy lifting and all that. I've now gone to like normal Tai Chi, DDP yoga, Diamond Dallas Page yoga, not double penetration. Yep. South Hi-Fi, and it works. His yoga stuff works, mate.
Yeah, so, it's great. Like it's good for aging bodies. Like I've done Tai Chi, I've done yoga, I've done I don't know, do like swimming, walking, weight training. I've done a heap of stuff over the years, but yeah, for aging bodies like Tai Chi and DDP stuff's fantastic. Especially for like your joints and tendons, so you're not mucking them up, because it's really easy as you get older to muck up your joints and tendons and soft tissue.
Especially what I used to do. You know, I used to wrestle and be in the hard physical combat or sports, and even though I was quite good when I was younger, at 52, my God, I'm feeling it.
Yeah. One things like about Tai Chi is because it looks like all these kind of the sort of movements. It's really good for like using your brain and using like two limbs at the same time in different directions. It's really good for like your brain.
It's kind of like dancing, mate, but it's
Yeah,
slowed
yeah,
down. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have much room in my garage or in my house. So in the summertime, I loved it. But now it's heading towards wintertime, and you do that sort of slow, sort of. But I'll put the earbuds on, some sort of like real soft, awesome slow music, and get my
yeah.
chi back.
But yeah, it's fantastic. Not just exercise, but like I don't call it like way of being because it's exercise, but it's a moving meditation. So it's equally good for your brain health as well while you're doing it.
Yep, exactly. And I was when I said burnt out last year, I was doing mental and physical burnt out. The mental part came first, and then I realized the burnt out, and then it all came out at the same time. And I'm talking about like catastrophic. At the end of the year, I was history. Luckily, I had 2 weeks off at work. But as I said before, my body has just come right now. So, and my mind's good too. So I think my mind recovered first, and then boom, I was doing it. Oh, you asked what I was doing too. Yes, I'm also organising my first ever, because I was born in Hastings, New Zealand, the Hastings Toy Fair. So
Oh, cool.
I'm trying to get like sponsorships and people to like store holders to come in. That's what I really need. I need getting the people to come is one thing to buy, but I need the store holders. So I've gone through like the old business cards throughout the whole toy fairs I've gone through in the past and contact them. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I've got a few more tables.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I mean, you got to have plans and make an aim and have that hidden direction, see what happens.
So not trying to sell, but it's at the 1st of
No, I don't
August.
mind. Sell.
Sell.
Go.
1st of August at the Twyford School in Hastings. It starts at 10 a.m. And finishes at 2. I've chose those hours because if it's out of town and people want to pack up and leave, but I also chose the wrong time too because this is war happening. Petrol prices are through the roof.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. I've got a mate who's on holiday
worse.
over there, and he's posting pictures as he's going around and going, "Oh, look how horrible the prices are."
Yeah, it sucks, man. Like, yeah, the price of diesel is incredible.
Yeah,
maybe I should try that.
Posted a bunch online, and I said, "Is that your lotto numbers?" He goes, "No, Johnny, that's the bloody fuel prices over here."
Yeah, it's bloody shocking, brother. It's bloody shocking indeed.
It was actually in one of the Sunday papers here in Perth. It actually had, I'm not making this up, it actually had on the headline, "Pity the fuel," going on about the fuel price. Referencing Mr. T.
Yeah. I'm not sure how Aussie's doing with the fuel.
Well, the worst here is the diesel. Like the people and like I mean the prices are up everywhere, but the diesel was the worst. And people in rural areas, country towns who travel longer distances are getting the worst. And I was reading this week, there's people who live out of their car or caravan by choice who are traveling. They're doing it real bad. But some of them aren't in their car by choice, and they don't have a home, and they don't have savings or something to fall back on. And they're literally having to choose between diesel to run like their little mini fridge in their car or camper and buying food or buying fuel, basically. And their nearest place to get food or fuel might be 100 or 200 kilometers away. So you're going to waste that fuel driving to buy more stuff that you've just wasted to get. It's, it's pretty hard.
It is hard, eh? Yeah, hopefully it's over soon. I hopefully it is. I think I read somewhere that we've got possibly 3 weeks worth of diesel here in New Zealand.
Yeah, because New Zealand is much smaller. Australia's massive. We've got nothing but space, so they do have storage for what do you call it, a reserve. And whereas also over in Ireland, by mate Mark there, Boba Hicks, similar sized country there. It's tiny, very little place for reserves and refineries in it.
Yeah, exactly. I think unfortunately, I think we started closing down like our gas LPG gas refinery, and maybe this is a wake up call to the world. Like if you got oil in your own country, maybe it's not a silly idea to have your own refinery and just keep that in for like a rainy. I know fuel does go off, but keep it like emergencies. Yeah. I don't know how diesel goes off.
It's crazy to me the amount of every country exports everything everywhere, and it's like, why don't any countries use more of their own resources? Like here in Australia, we export LPG gas, and most of it goes overseas for peanuts. But if you want it here, you've got to pay much more. That if you barbecue on that, but you can. Some stations still have it for cars, but they phased out the cars that have it, so it's kind of pointless at the pump now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're the same here in New Zealand too. Well, you being a Kiwi now living in Aussie, it's bizarre. To me, I don't totally understand it. Like I understand exporting it for money.
Yeah,
but when you're
like disadvantaging the local people who actually want to use it,
like I think the government, not the government that's now, but the government before that, shut down the LPG over in Taranaki. So that's dumb. As far as I'm not. This is not a show about politics. Mind you, walk in sometimes in politics anyway.
My dad's always been into motorsport and stuff and whatever, and always into cars and vehicles. So all my life I've heard about bloody fuel and this and that, and he's always on about how the New Zealand pays forget the fuel crisis going on now, and on any given Sunday, like last year, 10 years ago, New Zealand pays some of the highest prices in the world for fuel, and they get some of the lowest grade quality as well on top of it. I'm like, how do you? It's bullshit.
Yeah, well, it's funny because we had this is to forget about the crisis, right? I don't know what happened in Australia. So we already had fuel here in New Zealand. The war happened, all right, over in Iran, US, and immediately they raised their prices up. You go, well, hang on a second, we already got fuel here. How can you justify
the price had gone up here? By the time it was in the news about the Strait and all that, it had gone up like 4 weeks. It had been up before it really hit the news, because they just went, oh, this is going to happen. And I understand as a business that if you're planning for any kind of business, if you're planning for stock or supply and something happens in the market, you have to adjust. But to me, it's pretty dodgy that they can just hike it up to crazy amounts when they still had 4 to 6 weeks in reserve, and there was no need to do that for several more weeks. It was just a bit of a knee-jerk thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's people like panic buying, which is stupid.
Yeah, that happened to Victoria, and then it was on the news, and it was like, that just causes more problems.
Yeah, that causes more problems. Like, don't panic buy. Just live your life normally. Like, we chose not to just to save on fuel ourselves. Like, even though it's a weekend, we could possibly go out and go to the shops. Like, we just chose like the last 3 weeks to stay home.
I do that all the time anyway in ordinary life, because I only work. I work 5 days a week, but I'm classed as a part-timer, so my income is half of a full-timer. So I'm always aware of the cost of fuel, because I'm a community worker. I'm always in the car. Half my time on any given day is driving around, and basically my rule is I drive to the different locations of the community I have to go. If I need to go anywhere, it has to be on the route. If it's not on the route and it's not within 3 to 5 kilometer variation, I don't go there. So I go to the supermarket on the way home. I don't drive up with it just to go there. I go on the way home or on the way out. If there's any shops I need to go to, like Kmart, if you see me posting stupid pictures like toys in the middle of the day in Kmart, it's because it's my lunch break and I have to stop somewhere. Basically, I've got to stop and take a piss. So I'm going to walk in, take a piss, look at Kmart, here's a photo. That's why I'm there. And then I'm gone again. I'm there for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Yeah.
So I'm not wasting fuel driving just to there. It's because it's on the route and I'm going past anyway.
I'm surprised they've raised the prices for these for toys, because plastic is also a product of oil.
They already did a couple of years ago. I remember Hasbro and everyone else. They already had the price per oil, whatever, for the plastic toy. That's already happened a couple of years ago, where they claimed it was all about prices, but usually a lot of the big companies like Hasbro and Mattel make up whatever nonsense figures they want to satisfy their CEOs and shareholders. It doesn't really matter what's going on in the real world. They just do whatever they want to and make for their high prices.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of like PTSD and war and trauma and such, we're on to season 2 of Tour of Duty. We did our previous talk last year in this first season, which I'll put in the show notes and description. I'll add in the link to that if anyone wants to go back and watch the first one.
Yeah, my man. So you're gonna put up a bit of a slideshow, or
yeah, there's a couple of images, but like mostly we'll just kind of get into the different themes and stuff in there. I didn't put as many. I've moved away from doing too many images in shows because it's so time consuming. When I used to do it all the time, it was just so time consuming getting stills from movies and shows and putting them together. It just took forever. It took like hours and hours and hours.
I know what you mean, mate, because even with my show, and I'll come up with a topic and then I'll just get pictures, I don't know, sweet as, and then you pick it up on your phone and I'll transfer the images to my laptop, and then I've got to literally choose the best. And I'm like, oh my God, why did I keep doing this shit? It's for you, the audience.
Like I use Canva, so I just I'll batch task things. When I go to the computer, I'm either grabbing stuff online or from taking stuff off the phone, I'll connect it via the USB and I'll copy everything. And then if I want to upload 50, 100 images, I go drop it and I just walk away for half an hour and come back when it's all
I've got to say, my man, that
you got to organize them all.
What you've done here, looking at the background here, like you've done a bloody excellent work here.
Well, this is just Canva. That's just like a standard photo background in Canva. That's actually Vietnam, but it's just stock photo. That'll be from sometime in the last 2 years in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So it's modern day. But then that's your picture of Facebook, but I made it black and white, and then that's just the guys there and Campbell's hanging out with them.
Yeah, it's also I'm partly there. Pretty much that was for my I'm 52 now, so that was for my 40th birthday party. I had a military themed birthday party. They went on.
He hasn't aged a day. Look, there he is. He hasn't aged a day.
yeah, and I literally look like I'm part of the. Like I'm here. There's me with LT and the helicopter pilot up there.
I haven't put as much effort. And the last time we went to talk in the end credits, I put you in the end credits as well, but I haven't done that this time. Don't have as much time.
I'm gonna rewatch that.
But yeah, I chucked up this one.
I love that too.
Old Cambo Rainbow.
Cambo Rainbow. Yeah, I love that, man. You have a talent for this, mate. Fuck.
It's just like that one's literally just type a sentence and a thing and it makes it for you. It's pretty cool.
Oh, I just clicked. You've actually got the Kiwi in my logo there.
Yeah, well, see, I've done some updated stuff. See, that's plain text. But it's gotten better now if you're making these AI images. I did one this morning of a new fill card, and I actually uploaded the graphic of his logo of Treasures for Trigger, and now it's on the T-shirt, on the picture, on the character on the card. So I didn't. So next time around, I'll be able to get your actual logo on there as well.
Actually, I just kind of think about it. I've been thinking about like trying to toy around with my logo, but honestly, that logo could actually be shrunk down a bit and put in the actual Kiwi body.
Yeah,
that'd be out the gate, man. You gave me a bright idea. Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah, I've got the I chucked in the cast here because I'm terrible. I always forget like characters' names, and I watch shows, and sometimes I remember the actor's name, but not the character's name. Or everyone's got like nicknames in the shows, so you don't often hear their full name. So just to start off with, the main guy who's not in, we've got Eric Broscotter, who was Private Scott Baker. That's the black and white image. That's actually twins. There's two people, but he was in the first season. He was the big beefy kind of farm guy with the blonde hair. He was always joking about muscles and eating his protein powders and all that. He's not in this season. He got written out. Apparently he turns up for a cameo in season 3, but they don't acknowledge or explain why he's not here. But he's not dead. He's just not there. So they never explain it in season 2.
Yeah, well, that's what got me thinking too. I was like, because I watched the first 2 seasons last night, and then I had to stop and go, hang on a sec, where's the I call him the big boy, like he's kind of reminds me of Rock and Roll from JoJo. So, and also another fact is his twin brother. They played they were in the same episode, the
Yeah.
In season 1, the Barrett brothers, or not Barrett brothers, the Barker brothers. But yeah, they're a big, and he's a surfer too. So how can a big boy like that be a surfer? So yeah, he makes a cameo in season 3. You're saying?
Yeah, because at season 3, remember, you get Doc, we get Carl Weathers is in most of season 3. But for this season, they have we shift away from. Hang on, let's go over here. We shift away from the end of Firebase Ladybug. What was it? The one?
Oh, they're
there we go. Season 2, following the combat of first season, which is the end of the first season, ends in this big like siege, and the base gets overrun. The platoon is moved to a new assignment, Tang Sun Nut Army Base, after Ladybird is overrun and dead in Untenable. And that episode, man, must have been a big budget in the season 1. All the explosions and pyro going off, that was spectacular.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the season 1. So that's why they're in a new location. And so we've got our core cast, the main guys we're familiar with. And the two like big new additions are pretty much Kim Delaney as Alex Devlin, who's a reporter. And we get the romance triangles with Goldman and with the helicopter pilot guy, McKay.
Yeah,
Johnny McKay. And several episodes in season 2, we get Dr. Jennifer Seymour. She's got she's saluting with the hair there. She has a romance angle with the Zeke. And at first, it's just like kind of professional. He basically is using her to try and get information, because there's episode 3 or 4. There's fragging where they frag a latrine, and so someone within their own group has killed someone else because they've gone completely, not just PTSD, they've freaked out on drugs, been awake for days, they've been on uppers and had no food or supplies, and then they've ended up blowing up some of their own men with a grenade in the toilet and just going nuts. So there's a big focus on the psyche effect of what's happening on the war and on the men. And so we see some of the other groups and other companies are in this same new like base, or where they're all hanging out, barracks and all that. But we see as this season goes on, some of our guys who are pretty well put together and able to deal with some of the stress things they've been through. Like there's episodes where one of the main guys gets hooked on drugs. And the first 2, Rue, he's starting to get shell shocked and PTSD and freaking out. And so we see more of the effect of like the drugs and the war, and how it's just messing up people's heads and all that, and it's really taking its toll on people. And we see some of the other companies in the first few episodes, just guys just getting shot left and right, because they're the new meat. And we've got guys now who are seasoned and know what they're doing. They've been out there for a good period of time, a couple of tours, been experienced, know how to work as a team. A new person comes in, doesn't know how to work with them, and just gets shot day 1, and that's it. And they're gone back home in a body bag.
Yeah, exactly. I know the one you're talking about, actually, where basically they got a bit of new meat, and I'm the same with you, mate. I'm terrible with names, but the Mexican guy down to the or the Spanish guy who's suddenly all of a sudden has turned back to his religious side.
Yeah, Rue starts going on about. I thought he was going to talk about quite Catholic stuff, but he starts talking about voodoo.
Voodoo, yeah. But that's the guy with the glasses. Not sort of spoiling any spoilers. He was a new guy, and he says, "Oh yeah, I believe he made a comment that I've got a bullet with every Charlie's name on it," and he says, "Don't talk about that. Don't talk about death like that." Now, I remember talking about like something like that at high school, and a couple of good buddies of mine who are Māori, and they went white as a ghost and said, "You don't talk about death like that." And I mean, I didn't know. I was naive at the time, and now I've got a high respect for that. But you're right. So Zeke here, the sergeant, he's on his third tour, and so you will say he's hardened. But I remember in season 1, they were forced to go into back into a place he's been before, and he was freaking out.
Like, they've all been through it too.
Yeah. But then towards the end, he got himself back together again and got respect of his men. But yeah, you can see these guys are actually starting to get the wear and tear of war. Of course, and from the very beginning, you can see LT and Zeke here, or Goldman and Zeke. They're in Saigon, so the base they're in is close to Saigon.
Yeah, and that's a big part
Yeah.
of the season arc because it leads up to. Well, we know that historical event like the fall of Saigon, where eventually the whole city got sieged. But there's stuff for weeks and months leading up to that. There's like hotels, cafes, restaurants are being bombed. Children are being used to plant bombs in public places because within they're just like begging for money or jobs and that. And
yeah, and you wouldn't expect kids, but
yeah. So it's real guerrilla war. I mean, it's already guerrilla warfare. We know from the first season, like the tunnels and hiding in villages. But now we're seeing guerrilla warfare moving into the cities and towns.
Yeah, which was quite intelligent of the Viet Cong, because the Americans came into a environment of jungle which I had no idea about, and so they fought in there, and then the Viet Cong actually adjusted that to fight in urban.
Yeah.
So they were pretty smart, to be honest. Sorry.
One of the things that always amazes me watching the show is like, obviously this is a show from the point of view of Americans, but it does show different points of view as we go along with like VC and other people who live in different villages and that, and the effects on the people. So it's not like just one side. It does show different points of view, but it always amazes me, this jungle warfare. You got the Americans coming in, they got loads of supplies, ammo, just an amazing supply system coming from a giant country of America going to the smaller country of Vietnam. And you're fighting guys who are obviously, it's their home turf, the jungle, they're growing up there, so they know the turf better. But they might get pinned down by a machine gun fire or whatever. Then it's like, oh, call in mortar fire, we need a helicopter extraction. Like VCs aren't getting no helicopter extractions, running away. No. And it's like, it's just like so much superior resources and firepower, and yet they're still basically losing the war.
Yeah, exactly. I think, literally, we did lose the war, didn't they? The Americans basically bowed out, didn't they?
Well, it depends on how I'm not a
I didn't look at my
history. This most of my education comes from watching films and Platoon and Full Metal Jacket and that. But pretty much the country, like it's got overrun, and eventually they had to make some sort of decision. But I love especially in season 2 and into season 3, there's more emphasis on, they know things aren't going well as far as the war. It's going too long. They don't appear to be winning. And they start the military brass and PR start basically just making up bullshit stories, saying everything's great and we're winning, and saying the opposite of what's actually happening, and basically just lying to the American public. And
does it kind of sound familiar right now?
But yeah, it really does it. It does it very intelligently, of not being making a big thing about it. But like, there's bits where you'll see our guy out in the field, something happens. The bit with the hotel, actually, at the end of the first episode, explodes. And then the following episode, the same guy, Myron's out of the bar, and he's getting real stressed. He gets super drunk, and he's in a bar of like locals in the town. So basically, he's pretty much the only white guy in there, but no one's bothered by him. They're friendlies. But he gets so drunk, he's playing darts, and he pulls out his gun and just starts shooting the dartboard. And everyone freaks the fuck out. Like, holy shit, this guy's freaking out. Get out of here. Everyone runs out. And moments later, he stumbles out drunk, and then the whole place explodes. And these people run in and go, oh, wow, thank you, you're a hero, you saved us. And he's drunk. He's nearly passing out. He's like, what are you talking about? I've got no clue what you're talking about. Not even aware of the explosion that just knocked him on his ass. And then the media, because there's more focus on the media and the PR and what the military is saying this, they say, oh, he's a hero. He saved all these guys. He did save these lives, but completely by accident. And he said he's lucky he didn't shoot one of them because he was so drunk he was just firing shots in the bar.
Now, was that Goldman? That was
Myron, the LT.
Goldman. Goldman.
Myron Gold. He's a great arc in this season because we see him really mature from being a like kind of academy guy and son of the other military. His father was in the military and not happy with him. He really matures. He becomes a lot more like Zeke. He becomes more wise to how things actually work in the real fucking world, and not in universities and everything.
Yeah, that's right. I remember him. The helicopter lieutenant, Johnny McCain. goddamn speakers on the
So, I'll go back to the cast. Yeah, he's down the he's in the middle there.
Yeah. But he says like basically this guy is a obviously
He's
a
a
helicopter
hotshot.
pilot, airborne. You know, it's basically like a jock. You know, like a
he's like a Tom
ace.
Cruise Top Gun kind of character. He thinks he's
exactly. He even calls himself the Lone Ranger. If you're ever in trouble, you know who to call the Lone Ranger.
They set him up. The first few episodes, you pretty much hate his guts because he's like profiting off of, he's doing all these illegal trades and getting all sorts of stuff and barter and that, and just basically living like a king in this little place. And then when he feels like it, he goes out and helicopter and rescues some folks. But he generally has the skills and he's actually saved a lot of people's lives. And as it goes on, you see he's actually a pretty decent person. It's more of a mask or personality he puts on, you know, to deal with things. He's actually a pretty decent person.
Yeah, because the LT and him have a similar love interest with Alex.
Yeah, they have the love triangle with the reporter.
The news reporter, or
But they set it up where these guys are at each other's throats and basically hate each other and playing practical jokes and nearly get each other killed and shit. But as the season goes on, they actually become kind of, I wouldn't say friends, but like frenemies. There's times where they have some drinks together and like, oh yeah, I'm glad that shit's over. And, you know, they do learn to like not hate each other basically.
Yeah. I remember the bar afterwards. So obviously the pilot had a few to drink. Zeke had a few to drink, but he's Zeke, honest to God, I looked at him and it says like, I've looked at Zeke. I call Zeke, which he is basically the sergeant, but everyone calls him Zeke. Yeah. He has that wisdom to say, gentlemen, you know, let's quiet this down. Let's have a drink. Let's leave. Let's, you know, he is so cool, calm, and collective.
He's such a level-headed character. He really is like the core of the show.
Like I've basically trying to make a promise to myself, and I said this to my girls. So, look, I don't want to be angry all the time, but I looked at him. It's like, man, this guy has been through 3 tours, and literally he is smooth. Like, like that smooth. Even when he had a gun in his head, and you know the scene I'm talking about. Like he was risking the daughter of the man that basically.
Yeah, sold, that con man guy who's doing all sorts of illegal trades and used to be a soldier and then faked his death.
Yeah, faked his death. But he had a gun to his head by these Vietnamese, and he was still cool. Like,
yeah, he's like, we just want these bags back. And like, yeah, we'll give you some money for them. And then the guy just takes the money out of the bags.
Like he's probably the show's Fonz, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
The show wouldn't be the same without him because he's not your typical character in this kind of drama thing, and he really stands out as being like you can see he's very zen, he's very calm, and his way just works really well because he's like I don't know, it's like if you watch an old western and there's like the cowboy who rides off or goes into the bar and I'm the best and he gets shot, and then you see this Indian tracker guy who's just like invisible and no one knows what he's doing and he disappears and he's here at night. Zeke's like that. He's just got this wisdom about him and he knows how to move around the jungle like the VC do. And
especially with like the first the first episode of season 2, his ex-wife turned up.
Yeah.
In Saigon. So they're flown in by Fort Brass or something like that. There it is. There she is, his ex-wife. And such an awesome relationship. Like she still loves him, but she's telling him that she's being remarried.
Yeah. And the kid's about 3 years old.
There's no hate. Like she realized that.
No.
I don't know what it is because basically, you know, she realized that he has to stay at the war to protect his men. But she also reminds him, you can't win the war on your own.
And she wants him to still have a relationship with the kid who's now 3 years old. That he basically doesn't.
3 years old.
I think at one other season they had one time off where he flew and actually met her, but you know, she's a little kid. She basically doesn't really know her.
Yep. Funny enough, we were talking about the hotel, and there's the hotel which
the shoe shine kid comes in and he plants
they're not
this
brothers, but
bomb.
you know, they brought into, but it's realized it's a scam. Yeah, you talk about also this scene too, where the LT and Alex is having they went out for dinner or went out for whatever lunch, and you said the little kid came in with a box.
Yeah, he's coming in like asking for money or if he can do jobs and that, and then he's like, "Give you a shoe shine, mister," and he's got this little box. And when he leaves, he sneaks back in and puts it in there, and there's a bomb in there.
Yeah, it was quite clever actually. I think the bomb was already in there, but then so he said, "No shoe sign." Okay, cool. And then he changes and goes, "Oh, cigarette." So that's quite clever because your mind is already off the shoe shine and onto cigarettes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll buy cigarettes off you, and you totally forgot about the box that's now sitting beside you. It's just by pure luck, or no, it's not luck, but it's written. It's been written, of course. That they leave the scene and it exploded, because also the fact that it's also during this time was a national holiday for Vietnam, and it's just, so there should have been a truth.
Is that why there's so many people in the town?
Yeah. So it was a holiday, and the Viet Cong, I think the South Viet Cong and the North had a truce that there'll be no fighting during the holiday. And I think the guy that sold the building, well, tricked the guys, has some information saying like, nah, they're gathering forces. They're moving ahead. They're actually planting a siege pretty soon. So
yeah, we're seeing more of that in season 2. They get like the men find out in first person, and rumors that like more we see more around the town. There's more just openly VC just in the town, just opening fire at any old time in the middle of the day. But we see more rumors about what are the real locations of like enemy troops, how much actual firepower and what resources they have. There's so much information and disinformation, even when they stumble on actual plans and documents, like through this smuggler guy who was like the guy who fakes his death, who's the father of the lady that was looking for him. He has some documents about, here's some actual stuff. And there's like, how'd you get this? You were working with him. He's like, well, what does it matter? We've got the information. Here it is. Use it if you can. But when they go to the higher ups, they're like, oh, no, this is all bullshit and disinformation. Don't believe it. And it's like, no, you got here real information. And the higher ups want to ignore it and go, because, rah, America, we're winning. This intel you've got's rubbish. It's just lies. And but it turns out most of it's true. And a lot of the official story of what they're saying on the higher ups and the generals and the press is saying, oh, no, everything's fine. They don't have that much forces. We're winning. It's like, no, you're slowly... They're strategically starting to attack bases more and more, and just causing more problems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got that 100%. Actually, I think the brass just didn't believe that a guy that was basically a deserter or faked his own death came out with all this information. And it's all lies. It's not true.
There's that kind of American arrogance that comes across too in this season, where when it comes to the men on the ground, they're like, no, this is what's happening. This crazy shit's going on. We've seen it with our own eyes. And then you get the hopes going, oh, we don't want to believe it. Or even if they've got proof, they're just like, oh, that doesn't really fit the official story. Let's not talk about that. There's a lot of that sort of thing going on.
Funny you should say that too, because the first scene is that LT and Zeke were looking for getting a guy that was basically drugged out, like literally off his face. They're getting him out of Saigon. And so unfortunately he lost his life. He got stabbed and unfortunately lost his life. And so LT says to the reporter, right, don't put this down, don't write this down. And she says, oh, I'm basically going to write it down. It's my job. I'm going to do it. But then she says, out of respect, I haven't put his name in. I won't put the soldier's name. So
the story about the drugs and the events, but left the guy's name out, so it wasn't like disgracing his family and that.
Yeah, he says, like basically, let him die as a soldier, as a hero.
Yeah.
Obviously, because he was burnt out. He's seen a lot of shit that happened. Let's just face facts. War. When we're kids, like, oh yeah, war is not great.
When you had no food, no sleep for days, and you run out of bloody ammunition, and then you're like, you can't stay awake. I mean, guys are going to take, of course, they're going to take fucking uppers if they're available because they can stay alive. And for some cases, it kept them alive, but then they got addicted, and then some of them went psychotic.
Yeah, exactly.
Not sleeping and not eating, not just the drug.
Yeah, and that PPT or that that post traumatic war, stress, whatever. I had it written up and I've lost my mind. But so literally, yeah. So she agrees that she'll write it up, but not put his name. And then she says, "Well, I've done a bit of digging about you. You're meant to be this clean cut lieutenant. La, 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 what's happened?" And he I think through Zeke, and we talked about Zeke before, he's kind of realized that the war is not what it seems through the generals or the American. What's happening at the field is this shit's happening. Shit's got real. We're not winning. We're just coping. And even then, like the first scene, like they got into this this 10 clicks, as they say, 10 clicks from where they are from the base, and they basically got mowed down almost straight away. And then the helicopter pilots, LT, came back. He had a goddamn grenade launcher.
Yeah, he's firing out the windows. He's flying, and he's playing music real loud on the speaker too to like distract the enemies and draw their fire.
Yeah, you can see the picture right there. Like there's Zeke and the other soldier.
Like normally you'd want to not give away your position, but he purposely like draws their fire to stop them getting killed.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, save their bacon. But literally, it says the fact that like I think information is being leaked to them, so they knew it was an ambush. So the VC knew it was an ambush, and it shows later on because the guy that down here at the bottom, he was the one that had the information on the weapon caches and all that. But he also discovers that that was in episode 2. You got episode 2 on you?
I'm not sure. I've only got like these few images, but it's the same. There's a 2-part. It goes the same characters.
2-part, yeah. So part 1 and part 2. I think it is. What is it? Saigon. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like another pilot episode. Really,
part 2 of Saigon. The LT is going on a dinner date with Alex, and the helicopter pilot, Johnny, sort of becomes a field wheel, but he goes to the toilet and he gets his mate to rings up his other mate.
Yeah, it makes this crank call to say, "Oh, there's stuff going on over here. You need to get over here real quick."
Yeah, exactly. But because the LT did that, and because it was a captain, he impersonated a higher command, this mate of his. So he makes this. He says, "Oh, I've got to go. I've been ordered to take out this, snipe out this area." So he takes the Jeep. And he's in civilian clothes. He has to go straight away. So he's got this Jeep. He's in civilian clothes. He's driving along. He gets ambushed. But as he kills a few Viet Cong people, he has discovered that there's fake IDs to go onto the base.
Yeah.
And he's discovered that's why they're getting information. This, shit's going to hit the fan. So even the LT says, shit's going to hit the fan. And still, the brass doesn't really believe.
Yeah, and we see more later in the season. We see not only a VC being able to get these passes to come onto the base and pass as a civilian or whatever. We see in later episodes some of the Americans who are just like completely had it with the war and everything, starting to just sell them secrets so they can get money and buy beer or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, basically, also episode, not season 2. We were on season 2. Episode 2. Or Saigon part 2, it's Purcell's birthday. There he is in there, look at the radio. So they listen to this woman on the radio, as they will say, the hot mamacita. She's doing mamacita.
It's like an Oriental lady, but she's doing like the real like soul brother, like some what do you call it, like Foxy Brown kind of radio voice.
Yep. So without spoiling it, guys, unfortunately, she is a spy. She's giving information, and I knew straight away when Purcell caught up with her. Says, we've got a friend, and he already says, "Oh, I'm on this mission, top secret." And
yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah, and our Mexican friend, he doesn't want to be there. He's on bad juju. He's basically lost somebody. He just wants to go back to the base. He wants to leave. But you know, Purcell convinced him that, like, come along, it's my birthday. She's got this date for you. And there's also in just during time in Saigon at night during the war, there's a curfew, and they realize that, well, look, it's past curfew. We're walking somewhere. It looks quite dodgy.
Yeah,
And it's funny how a drunk man, it's funny how a drunk person, I should say, when they realize they're in a dodgy area, they sober up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I've done it quite a lot in my days, you know, in Hastings and Flaxmere. You know, you realize you took a wrong turn and you go, yeah, I'm in the wrong part of town. You know,
don't want to be here.
Yeah, don't want to be here. And you still like sober up and you just leave. But yeah, she ends up being her and her female companion were spies. So they were giving information. And that's how smart that the Vietcong people were. They knew the weakness of the American soldiers. They weren't really that highly disciplined.
I kind of guessed. I didn't know, but my guess, being it was Purcell, he's kind of like the Charlie Brown. He does not have good luck with women. And when he goes into the bar and you see the lady's extremely good looking, and I'm like, well, he's going to get shot down. When she's like, oh yeah, I'll whatever, hang out with you, I'm like, okay, something bad's going to happen. This extremely good woman is interested in this doofus. I'm like, no, something doesn't compute here.
That's the way I think about myself too. Like, it does happen. And I go like, what's your angle? I'm not the best looking guy in the world.
Well, if I went down the shops or someone who looked like the lady who did the radio DJ, like who looks like a Tia Carrera, who's like a model, good looking lady, you know, nice hair and dress and all that. Someone like that started chatting up. I'm like, well, you're trying to sell me something. You want something. You're not talking to me, the person. You want something from me, like some money or transaction or subscribe me to something or, you know.
No, it's funny you should say that. It happens a lot on social media, eh? So
yeah. There's so many fake accounts and spam. So many fake accounts. People on bloody India and Sri Lanka are just like, you know, they're spamming people with images of model ladies saying, "Give me your money and accounts."
Yeah, I discovered that, and I had to say that TikTok was the worst. So I joined TikTok to help with my YouTube channel.
I'm so skeptical of any social media. If any kind of female person tries to contact me, I just ignore it or delete it. I don't care who it is, unless it's someone I've already met in real life.
It's a smart man. You're a smart man because
they're just faking me. Because anyone I know is from New Zealand, not going to be in Australia. They're going to be down the road here in Perth.
Yeah, and they're quite cunning too. Like, I'm not saying the female race, but I'm saying that the Vietcong and what's happening in social media are pretty similar.
Yeah.
So they know your interests. They get into your interests, and you're like, oh, this is really cool. La la la. But this is a listen and learn, people. Listen and learn. Before you set that friendship, go to the profile. As if there's only 1 or 2 photos, that's a red flag.
Yeah. Like I looked at a lot of time on, not that much time on the computer these days, but I've looked at so much digital media and I've watched films in my life in the cinema at home. I've seen the rise of internet media going from old cameras to digital cameras and everything in between. I can, when I see an image that looks dodgy, I can sit like 2 seconds. It's like something doesn't look right here. I can just tell, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's almost the same tactic as what the what people are using now are almost the same tactic what was happening back then, and times hasn't changed. If you can look back, like here's another show, and I've been watching the SAS boys, how they first started, and once again, you know, the woman. I'm not bad mouthing women, of course.
No, it's no different than James Bond. You know, when it's a sexy lady who's going to try and kill him and all that.
Yeah, exactly. But they can see that us men, you know, okay, we're driven to that point, and they know that we're sitting ducks for that sort of for that. And when he starts giving it information, I could see straight away, like, mate, don't do it. She's a spy. She's gonna kill you.
Yeah, well, just imagine tomorrow there's door knockers and it's Margot Robbie and Angelina Jolie just turn up at your door and they're like, we want to know all this information about you, Cambo Ram. You're like, okay, here, just take it.
Honestly, if they did turn up my doorstep, I would probably do that, to be honest.
Like, what do you need to know? Do you need my tax number? Here you go.
I mean, I like to say I'm strong-minded, but honestly, if they turn up my doorstep, I would probably go like a.
You've got to close your eyes and turn away because it's like your brain's like overload.
I funny you should say that. I literally did that because when we did it for my 40th, so that picture of mine for my 40th, I went to Aussie, went to Sydney, and so one of the places we went to, the wife and I, was Bondi Beach. Now I didn't realize that there's a lot of things happen at Bondi Beach. So I was looking up at the sky, down at my channel. I was not looking anywhere. So yeah, I was like, this is a trap. You know, I keep hearing other fed. It's a trap. It's a trap. So honestly, because of that experience, that's why I clicked straight away that Purcell was getting sucked in.
Yeah.
and
it's very good this season, showing that like we've seen the jungle warfare and the guerrilla warfare business, but now we're getting urban into Saigon, in the city, in the nightclubs, the hotels, the cafes. It's like the people are getting intel and being attacked on all different levels, like spy stuff, intel stuff, as well as outright just shootouts in the street and robberies. There's more just open robberies in the town.
Oh, open robberies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Funny enough, there's a scene. You got a bus here, and one of the women who's going to meet her old man, there he is, was Sikh. She says, "Oh, what's the story with why is the window so covered up with the bus?" And Sikh says, "Oh, so Charlie doesn't sniper at us."
Yeah.
Which is true, like literally. Literally is true.
But it's
I think his
amazing.
name was Bennett.
Yeah.
Or Barrett.
It's an amazing season. Like so I've watched all of season 2 in recent months, and then I've been on to season 3, which has Carl Weathers and other different stories.
That's Taylor and Johnson. That's their name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the paper here, boys.
There you go. It's got the cheat sheet.
There you go. I've got season 2 playing in the background. This is
good.
Bravo Company is their name.
And like it's probably the biggest contrast to the first season. You get all this kind of romance business going on, and I still don't know if it's a rumor or true, but like China Beach was very popular. That was polling with the ladies back on the first run, and supposedly they adjusted to that, went, oh, we want to get some of that audience, let's add some romance stuff in here. But I don't know if that's true, because there's a long timeline when you're writing shows from pre-production to production and all this. I don't know if it's a rumor, but certainly it's a different stylistic change. And at first it annoyed me a little after the first season because it was so different. But rewatching again this week, the characters are all true to who they are. No one dramatically changes overnight. It's still very consistent with who the characters are and their evolution. And with the changes in the location, you're going to see different people and different things going on. It's much better watching it a second or third time when you understand more of the relationships and the events. Like things make more sense. You notice little things you didn't see the first time.
Actually, you're 100% correct, because like last night, I said before I said to you behind the scenes, my wife had a games night, so I took the opportunity I can put what I want on TV, and I put on just the first 2 episodes of season 2. But I stopped and I thought I need to go back to season 1. With the box. This is season 2, but I went back to season 1, 4 and 5, just to sort of recap on a lot of things. And there was like, I've seen this before, but now I'm learning a lot more. Then I realized that I couldn't help myself. I had to go back on the first episode of Tour of Duty, season 1, and then I sort of see this, and this is why I did this, to look at LT. And you're right, they just gradually changed him. They they got him from a fresh LT from the States and slowly matured him enough and to trust his sergeant. You know, there was a scene where they were ordered to cross a river, get to this location.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
and Zeke, this is in season 1, and Zeke says, look, I don't think we should go here. We shouldn't cross the river.
Yeah.
I've got a bad feeling about this. Mind you, Zeke was freaking out because he's been in this bad place before.
But they also like, there's so much like stuff in your environment that when you experience, you just read it like subconsciously. You read, it's not like psychic powers. It's like you're actually taking in all kinds of stimulus in the environment. And when you've been around it, people actually read it, like I said, like with an Indian tracker or something, who's actually literally reading things around them, but without, you're not thinking about it, you just know, you sense it like in your gut. You're like, don't go over there.
No, you're 100%. I've done hunting. I've actually decided to stop hunting now.
And you hear little tiny sounds that are barely audible, like tiny little crunching of a footstep or anything, or animal sounds where there shouldn't be, or where there should be animal sounds and there's none because they're scared because there's people hiding over there about to shoot you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not. Well, hunting. I'm not hunting for Vietcong, but hunting for deer. So this time, you're hearing your own footsteps, and you're hearing other footsteps, or you're hearing. And this is the thing that freaked me out. You start hearing the wind, and you go, okay.
You start hearing your own heartbeat too when you get really.
You hear your own heartbeat, yeah. And so the wind part, you realize if I move when the wind blows, no one will actually hear me. Like the deer shouldn't really hear me. But yeah, you start, and it doesn't happen straight away. So what I often do when I went hunting, I go there and I sit down. I just stand and just take 5, 10, 15 minutes, just chill, relax, you know, and let the environment soak into you. It kind of sounds like Outback. Outback is a geodo environmentalist specialist survival expert. And he says, like, if you just work with nature, don't fight against nature, work with nature, and you'll be good as gold. And
yeah, well, people lived outdoors for thousands of years before they learned how to build all sorts of fancy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I see that now LT is now doing it, and a lot of the troops like well, Johnson's been there for he's been there since. He knows Zeke a lot longer than, I think Taylor and Johnson knows the Sarge a lot longer than Purcell, and I'd like to know what this Mexican guy's name is. I really apologize. I'm not trying to offend people. I'm terrible with names. I can't even see that writing.
Which one you got? Ruiz, you got Marcus Taylor, Marvin, Purcell, McKay.
Is it Rose? Rose?
Yeah, bottom left. He's the one that was getting into voodoo and that when he was freaking out.
Yeah. And they cracked me up too. So what? He suddenly changed to. He saw some stuff that made him go back to his religious side of things. This is going up, so I'll take it off now. So yeah, he started going back to his voodoo and religious sort of.
It's like he's freaking out and he's trying to go back in his mind to something that felt more safe and familiar than before the war.
Yeah. Because do you remember when he first came in? And there's a picture. He's carrying his M60 and he's like bandolier of bullets. And like, I'm gonna mow people down. And he didn't really care. He even said himself, "He'd go, I've got a bullet for every name." And now he's saying, "Don't say that, man. Don't say there's a bullet for every man."
Yeah. And he had saved their lives a bunch of times too, even after in season 2 where he's freaking out and getting all stressed and getting frozen up where he doesn't want to do anything. They're like, the guys are still pretty understanding. They're like, "Okay, buddy, you just stay here. We'll take you back to base later. Don't worry about it."
Where's the other chappie? The guy that that was the war protester. And
he's at some season 3, I think. The guy with the glasses and the moppy hair.
Yeah. He played a harmonica.
Turns up later in season 3.
Oh, real.
He looks like Daniel Jackson on Stargate whenever I see him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got the same haircut and got the round John Lennon glasses.
I was watching when I went back to season 1 and I saw that. I went, "Oh my god!" And look, if it wasn't for the beard, I look like Daniel Jackson too with his bandana. Unfortunately, I shaved, so the stubble isn't making my bandana stick to my head. It basically is flowing up. So
Yeah.
no, I mean, I've got to say, out of all the war shows, especially on the Vietnam, China Beach and Tour Duty it came so close. If not, it was probably picture perfect of how it portrayed, how it showed, how it really actually showed in the Vietnam War.
Yeah, it was made at the right time. Like, you couldn't have done it in the 70s. It was too close, and you needed
because
that
it was done
time
in the
to be
80s.
able to actually make something that more reflects reality and not just being like movie made up. You know, in the old days in war films, we had propaganda films, you got anti-war films, and everything in between. You know, so they had enough time to pass by to really for it to process and make sense. And I can't imagine living like that time. All this stuff on TV about bloody Nixon and Watergate and Vietnam and people protesting, like so much going on. Like, you wouldn't know what to believe if you were at home just watching TV, hearing about this stuff.
I felt really bad because the people were protesting, and I've heard about this, but they basically the soldiers that come back, they're spitting on the soldiers
spit on
and cursed and throwing rotten.
Called baby killers and stuff. Imagine that. It's like Jesus.
I mean, okay. Now talking about there was a special forces unit called Tiger Force, and now G.I. Joe Tiger Force that's got Tiger Force. If you hashtag Tiger Force, not G.I. Joe, you find that there's a special force. Now they got a bad rap. They went off the rails and they did some bad stuff, mate.
Yeah, really as in stuff. Every war ever. There's war crimes in every war, and Vietnam was no exception. But it doesn't mean it was the rule. It just means shit happens.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the protesters would have seen that small squadron doing that shit. But all these guys here, they were baby killers. They were just
the opposite. They saved lives of civilians and put themselves at risk.
Yeah, exactly. And it does show a lot too, like the guy with the glasses, how naive he was.
Yeah.
And then when he got to the war zone, Raul said even to, "Hey, fire your weapon. It'll make you feel a lot better." And he fired his weapon, but then he got too carried away and got himself shot. Like he ran in front of the But it is like literally, it does show like they grabbed like 16-year-old kids. They had 16-year-old kids. They weren't even old enough to drink beer in the US, and yet they're fighting a war. I remember hearing Jesse the Bonaventura. So he's an ex-Navy SEAL that did fought in Vietnam, right? And he, true story, did his tour, went back, and he realized he wanted to do another tour. He says, and he says, "Well, why do you want to go back?" He says, "Well, when I'm in Vietnam, I'm a man, but when I'm back home, I'm not even old enough to drink a beer."
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy, but it does things. It does. Yet it's one of the. I don't remember. Does Tour Duty won any Academy Awards?
The which?
Did the Tour Duty won any awards?
I'm not sure. I imagine it probably would have. Let's type it in real quick. And Tour Duty Awards.
Like it was, like I'm being dead serious.
Emmys and drama.
Emmys or anything like that. Like it is.
Yep.
It is so close to the real thing that isn't funny.
Yeah, well, the other things of that era that stand out. I mean, you had, we had Platoon, Full Metal Jackets, and Born on the 4th of July, of course. You know, those are all like anti-war or sort of neo-war films, like tying in with Vietnam. And well, one of the earliest ones, of course, was the Deer Hunt of Robert De Niro.
Oh, mate, that's a good Deer Hunter. Yeah, have you ever played? You a PlayStation? I think we had the video game not Vietnam, where the video game things. You had a PS2?
I used to. I sold mine off a while ago, so I mostly play PS4 these days. But I had one for 10, 20 years.
Okay, so the most realistic game was Conflict Vietnam, right?
Yeah, that was a good. I remember.
Basically,
I haven't played it, but I remember it coming out. I used to get the video magazines and read all the reviews on it.
Yep. So they took inspiration of Tour of Duty, China Beach, Full Metal Jacket, and all that, and combined it. And honestly, when I play when I play Conflict Vietnam, and it's funny enough, I've got Painted Black in the background. That's the first song that comes up, and Painted Black. What a perfect song for the start of this show.
Yeah, that was Rolling Stones.
Literally perfect. Yeah, Rolling Stones. You can't beat it. But yeah, I'm playing the game and then I get myself lost and I go, this is like Tour of Duty. This is exactly like Tour of Duty because it does everything. It goes from the jungle, even to season 2, urban. And I was blown away with the urban combat on a video game. It's different, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay away from those walls. Don't do what they do in the movies where the bullets bounce off and then hit you.
Exactly. Oh, that's in season 1 where Purcell's dad had a heart attack, so they were able to go back home.
Yeah, so it's from the opening credits. It's got all the images from the.
They
edit like stuff from season 1 and 2 into the season 2 opening.
Yep. I'm definitely going to go back after this. Go back and
I'm at least halfway through season 3, but then because I rewatched a whole lot of season 2 this week, now I want to watch the rest of season 2 before I go back to number 3.
Season 3 is different too.
Carl Weathers is great in it. Like I thought he was just going to be a bit part, and he's in most of the season.
Yeah, and they've actually got a new assignment now, Bravo Company. Because they were like, what did they say here in Bravo Company in season 2? They're more like basically sorry about the I didn't sound what I'm reading or thinking, and it really irritates me. They're more like security detail.
Yeah.
So they thought it'd be quite cushy, but it's nowhere near cushy. Yeah. And I think they also made a comment too that in Firebase, which was or Ladybird, was their own their old base that got overrun. With their new bases, they at least have hot showers. So I sat there and watched, just like, imagine having cold showers. Like, your body was used to it. Like, seriously. You know, your body's aching. You need that hot shower to.
Yeah, like cold makes your tissue shrivel, whereas heat helps it expand. Like I've been having lots of heat packs when my back was injured. I remember 10 years ago, I went on like a volunteer camp for kids. It was like Lions Club of Victoria, whatever. They used to sponsor these kids, and they'd go on the buses. They're like underprivileged kids who don't normally get to go on summer camp or whatever. And then volunteers, as adults go along, you look after a bunch of rugrats for the better part of a week. But I remember one year up there, the showers there, they had the big kind of hall area where it had the communal shower thing. There was no power in it, so it was like winter, and it was like, or not actually, it wasn't quite winter, but it was like 5 a.m. wintry feeling, but there was freezing cold water, man, because it was like near the mountains. It was like, oh, how do you get under it?
You're joking.
That's the only time I felt like one of those kind of movie scenes, because they're like, we're all lined up. There's like, about 10 different blokes of various ages from 20 to 50, and you're all just like naked and like shaking and try not to look at each other as you get shaken into this freezing cold shower. And it was in a big wide open space. Imagine the size of like a basketball court, but it's just showers, and just you don't want to walk in there naked. It's not comfortable.
I'm not sure. I mean, these boys walked into the shower. Like, did they just walk from their campsite?
I'm not sure, but you can tell they don't give a shit because they've been through so much together. It's completely not even a thought in their head when they're doing stuff, shitting and showering, whatever. They're not bothered because of whatever.
Nah, it's not bothered.
There's no
all
like,
they're happy
false
about. They got
modesty or
3 hot
anything. They're
meals.
just used to being around each other all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas in my situation, it was people who literally met in less than 24 hours ago. And it's like, here, go in a room full of strangers in a freezing cold shower in this big room. You didn't have to, but it was like if you're real at the camp, you were getting physically dirty all the time from doing stuff. So you wanted to get the dirt off of you.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Actually, I can't remember that when I was in high school or when I was a kid. I don't remember being shy.
Yeah.
No,
I was.
actually,
I still am now.
no.
I don't want to be naked in public. Thank you. Well, if I have to, if their house is on fire, but otherwise, I don't really want to.
No, I think the only time I have actually been, there was like a co-ed sort of changing rooms.
Yeah.
And that blew me away. I was like, whoa. I'm sure the woman's on that side, and it was there was like a thin barricade wall, but honestly, by the time you come out of the shower, there's this, you can see, people can see. So obviously, there's a reason why people just sort of like, yep, just look at your bag and focus on your bag and look at your bag and get changed. But as when you go to the shower,
I don't mind at home. I'll walk. When I shower at home, I'll walk from one end of the house to the other because it's always hot here, and I need to let my skin dry before I can put anything on it.
Ah, you're like me, brother. Air dry.
Yeah, I have to. Otherwise, it's not. Otherwise, I'm instantly dripping wet if I try and put clothes on after a shower.
There's a scene here where someone said, I think it's in season 1, they got a new what do they call new recruits? Sometimes they're called like bullet stoppers.
Yeah.
So this guy says, is it always this hot here? I said, no, it's really unusual.
Yeah, you get that tropical heat. It's like going into a sauna. The moisture's always just getting you, and your head's dripping. And
I found out with Rarotonga, we went from wintertime. The tail end of wintertime, went to Rarotonga, and the moment I stepped out of that plane, but boom, the heat just, and also you're high, so the heat just, and I remember just falling backwards, like whoa, and I went, okay, I've got no choice, I've got to go forward.
It's like you're in a soup or something. It's like thick. It's just, it gets you.
Yeah. And we arrived at nighttime, so we actually no, we've been to Rarotonga twice, the wife and I. First time was our honeymoon, but I just lost my job, so money was a bit tight, but we already paid for this, so we just went, all right, we'll go for this, and we just do the bare minimum. The second time was at someone's wedding, and that time I already had a really good job, and I said to the wife, let's make this our second honeymoon. Well, because it's our second honeymoon, and I had a good job, I basically said, yeah, let's do this. We can do this. We can hire a car. We can do this now. But yeah, the first time when we went on our honeymoon, it was daytime, and the heat just, fuck.
It's such a shock when you're not used to it, especially coming from the cold in New Zealand.
And the second time was at nighttime, and that was quite pleasant. So we arrived about midnight-ish, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. I said I wouldn't mind arriving at a tropical island during the night. And there's something about like you sleep and then you wake up the next morning and you've climatized, like you slowly climatized yourself. But we arrived the first time and it would have been the middle of the day. It's just like, oh my God. And all I wanted to do was, yep, I need to get out of these clothes. I need to strip myself naked and just go to the beach. And the wife informed me that no, this is quite a religious country and you cannot do that. You got to shorts and try and remain clothed and la la la. Went, okay.
Bodysuits like they do on that Crown Jewel WWE. Get your bodysuit on.
Bodysuit on.
Bodysuit man.
Bodysuit man. I love that. It's cool, bro. It was a good show tonight, eh? It wasn't towards the end when I got the paper out. I realized, hey, it's Taylor. And there's Johnson.
I forget characters' names and I mix up actors' names with all the time. Even in films I've watched like 100 times, I'm like, who's that guy again?
I promised myself I wasn't going to do it. I went, all right, I'm watching this tonight. All right, I've got notes down. Sweet as. Unfortunately, I watched a little bit too much last night, and then I went to bed kind of late-ish, and then I woke up like, oh shit, I've got the girls ready, la la la, and I didn't write my notes down. And normally I rewatch the show. Well, like last time we did this one, I rewatched the first episode an hour before we did the show.
Yeah, I did watch
names.
some yesterday, and I did a couple of quick notes on there just for the general topics and things. And
yeah,
there was a good quote from Zeke, and I think it was episode 2, when that scene where he talks to his ex-wife who comes to visit him, and he's going on about just what it's like being there, and he's going, and he goes, he's real frank, and he goes, it's just like they say it is. It's hell on earth. I'm having nightmares like every night about my men going home in body bags, and I can't protect them and can't save them. And it's like, Jesus.
Yeah. But no, that's literally is true, mate. You know, hell, like it's hell on earth. His nightmares. I don't have the DVD. I've got the DVD, and like it's starting to get cold here in New Zealand, so I decided to watch, and also since the wife was away at a game show, I did watch the DVD inside the house. And normally I have the box with me, but that season 1 and it's on this 3 or 4, and they've been ordered to go back to this. Well, Zeke knows the location quite well. He knows that it's bad, and he says, you don't want to go there. This place is crawling with VC. That's right. It was a down pilot that was crashed, and there was a down pilot. They were in there, but also there's a pilot that has been parachuted. So they rescued him, but he's got internal bleeding. He's set to die. The pilot tells Zeke at the end, like, do me a favor, write a letter to my daughter. That's right. And his ex-wife asked him to write a letter to his 3-year-old daughter, and he didn't know how to do it. So he got the priest, the army priest, to do it. And I remember watching this. I think, don't your ex-wife know your own handwriting, mate? So, like, come on, buddy. So I think at that point, that's when Zeke decided to. And the pilot, who obviously was a captain, orders even the LT to say, I'm not giving you an order. Take your man and leave. Just leave me here. I'm dying. Let's go. And at that point, Zeke realized, no, I'm going back, and that's when he becomes a soldier again. So I'm going back and saving this man. And then out of all that effort, unfortunately, the pilot died, but at least they took the body back home.
But and then crazy the mission in the first place to go all the way into that enemy territory for a guy who was most likely dead or seriously injured, and
yeah, and that's when Zeke had the courage to write the letter. And I think he wrote the letter to his own daughter.
Yeah,
I'm the same too. Like I'm terrible at writing letters. Like with this toy fair thing and all that, I'm sucking at it. I've got one part I need to write up for sponsorship.
Yeah,
and I've done the first part. Then I've got to do a quick bio. I don't know what the hell to put in. I can say
I need a template or a reference to look at to make sense of a structure or things like that for me.
I might just cheat and just use ChatGPT and see what they do.
Well, before those existed, you could get books at the old public library like how to write a resume or how to write a letter. Where they'd show you the formal structure of things. I'm good at modeling things, not model making, not kits, but modeling as a behavior or learner new topic or thing. I need examples of how it exists. Like if you say you want to train to be good at a certain kind of swimming, like Olympic swimming, well, you need to look at like how do the ones really good, what do they do, and what's their technique and how they move, or how do the best fighters in the world throw a punch. You break it down, and without a model example, you just kind of flail around and go, what do I do? I don't know. But if like the old letter writing things, you can get the thing that tells you put this up here and this spaces and this should be left aligned or right aligned or any of that sort of bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anything with writing, I've always had difficult. It's even to the point where I was a manager. So I was a good manager. Don't get me wrong. When
Mhm.
it came to the paperwork, my God, I sucked at it. So luckily, I was able to take my paperwork. This is long before we had kids. The wife and I was able to take my paperwork back home and do the paperwork at home. Whereas I had peace and quiet, had my own time, and then I can also get the wife to proofread this, you know, and she can tweak up in sweet as, and then I can actually just type up and either send it by email or type it up, print it out, and say, "There you go, here's the paperwork." But I hate the paperwork. Like, I love dealing with staff. I love how all of a sudden there's a problem I need to solve. I love doing that. The thing I hated the most was the paperwork.
I think most people do. I'm not a fan of it either.
Yeah,
it's like it's just like busy time away from doing the actual task you want to get done.
Yeah, because I had to sort of come up writing up procedures and all that, and I think the first manual.
Don't put your hand inside the big machine that spins around and chops your fingers off. And make sure the safety isolated button works. Don't ever fucking disconnect that unless you've tagged it out and no one's going in that goddamn room, and there's better be a fucking sign saying it's not working, because that's an accident.
Funny enough, at my job right now, and it's been running for years, and no offense to the job, I love this job, but no one actually uses the safest procedures and all that. And I started bringing it in last year. Like, look, if you don't have tags, get something like a bit of paper, print it off, laminate it, put the sign on the machine.
And it goes on there. Anything that brings attention to it.
Yeah, and it's
like someone walk up, like someone walk up and touch the thing and go, "Oh, gee, God, I got shocked." I'm standing in a pool of water.
Like, I think, no offense, but I think my boss, I love you, boss, I really do, but he was all about like get the product, you know, there it is, get it out, but no, he's got great staff here. He needs to look after them, and unfortunately, I came in and I said, well, look, we're going to need to start doing this. If the machine's broken or we think it's busted, we need to put a sign on here. We can't like, and they said, why? Well, let's say this: me and the foreman who work on this machine, if by some
dies and you get sued and go out of business, that's a big motivator.
Yeah, but if we're working on it and we haven't finished it, and we say sick, or say I'm sick, and he has disappeared for some reason, and there's no sign there, the next person's going to go and turn the machine on, boom.
Well, I worked at a dairy factory for 3 years. This is about 10, 12 years back now, and there were no major accidents there because the most dangerous thing there was probably slipping over on the floor when it was wet because it was 0 degrees and moisture would accumulate. But everyone wears safety boots. I nearly lost my toe a few times, but the steel caps saved it. That's the only reason I've still got my big toes.
Yeah.
I nearly lost a bit of this finger one time. The metal plate, about 30 kilos, fell on that and severed it. But it was a clean cut, and luckily it was only 10 minutes to the hospital and they stitched it back together and it was fine. You wouldn't even know it was ever injured, but there's a scar on that one in there, that little white bit. But that one nearly went right through to the bone.
Which finger was it? It's this finger. Well, this finger as a youngster, I had the door slammed. So I told me a youngster, like a 5-year-old.
Yeah. I bet the old car door. Oh.
Yeah. Sharpening, you probably won't see the scar because but sharpening a pocket knife on a bench grinder, and it caught and it closed up on me. Next week, did the same thing to another pocket knife.
How not to sharpen knives with Kiwis.
So I had 2 fingers banded up, 2 trigger fingers banded up.
Actually, when that one got injured, I couldn't grip or hold anything, and I needed to use my hands constantly at job. So when I got sent home, it was just good enough, and it was wrapped up. I could still play the Xbox games, so I sat home for 2 weeks playing video games.
The Xbox.
It's the only thing I could do. I was lucky because it was the trigger finger where it sits on the L and R on the top. I could still mash it with that part, but I couldn't use that. I couldn't make a proper fist to grip anything. I couldn't hold anything, not even 1 kilo of nothing. And I had to pick up 10, 15, 20 kilo stuff every day at work. So I couldn't use my finger for 2 or 3 weeks.
So we have pipes like this, and so I can still grab it with the finger up, but also I was kind of like It was a weird title that the boss gave me and didn't give me a pay rise to go with it. He called me the the supervisor's assistant. I said, what's that mean? Basically, it's like 2 IC, but we had 2 supervisors. So I can actually go on either department. That's how good I was. I could go in either department and basically run it when the supervisor's not there. So literally, I could, with this finger that's bandaged up, I can just point, like, you do this, and you do that, and this. And, you know, I was able to make sure I got myself on light duties because I think my foreman was away for a week. So I went, all right, I know I can pick up pipe like that. Cool. And I can put it on a bender so it bends. Ooh. So it bends. So I thought, I can do that job easy as. It's not heavy lifting. And I did that for like nearly a couple of weeks or so with my fingers, both fingers bandaged up.
Yeah, well, might as well finish up, I think.
Yeah, brother love. I'm actually getting quite warm in here with the sort of battle gear on.
Yeah, I expect you would. You got the full kit and caboodle. But anything you want to sort of
say
spruik again before we finish up and ride us again with the toy show and whatever else come up?
No, not much really, mate. Obviously check out the channel. You can find me on Instagram.
I'll make sure I'll put a link into the I mean, anyone watching my thing goes here already, but I'll make sure I'll put a link in the description to our previous chat, and to your channel will be at the top of the description.
Yeah, I did the same thing too. I've been on a couple of live shows myself, and I think the thing that people forget to do, I think I'm got to go back to another live stream and make sure I have done this, but I make sure I either put a link or I make sure like at Johnny Soroson's
some channel, like the channel or the YouTube tag thing, sometimes it's really hard to find ones. Like if I want to go to like Retro Tinker Nate's channel, anytime you go onto YouTube, it either shows you pictures of some famous sneakers or something that he's mentioned, or most of the time it'll show you anytime he's been a guest on something, but it's hard to get his channel to come up. It was not bookmarked. So I end up having to click onto Zazel's channel and then go into Zazel's description so I can get to the Retro Tinker channel I actually wanted to get to in the first place that wouldn't come up on bloody Google.
Yep. But yeah, that was an awesome work that Nate's done.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Especially for your late cat, brother.
He did, like that's the original. I mean, this is not the same one. It's the same figure, but this is my one of that figure. That's the base figure he used, the Battle Cat dude that he repainted. I had no idea he was going to do that. He just messaged me this week like, oh, I think you should watch my thing that's coming up. I'm like, when are you home? Like, I'll be home on Friday early. So I'm like, okay, great. So I watched it and I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's awesome, mate. Yeah, I didn't see the premiere, but I knew straight away. I was like, oh, it was a premiere I meant to watch. Yeah. And I just watched the video afterwards and I went, like, mate, that's awesome. Like, you know, so you had your cat for 20 years, eh?
Yeah, well, he was 20 years old. Like I've known him for 12 years. Me and my missus been together. She had him since he was a little kitten.
Yep.
But in the last 4 months, he slept with me like every night on the bed. I think him purring. He'd wake up in the night and get cuddles and be purring at me. But we had a very strong bond. We spent like any moment that I wasn't working, I'm basically with him at home, either inside or outside in the yard reading a book, and he's sitting in the sun or next to me, and we're just like always together, and he follows me around the house everywhere. And
that's like with my. I've had pets in the past, but this cat that we've got at the moment, Ginger Nut. So he was abandoned. We knew of him as a kitten in our backyard, and I tried to coerce him, like, come here, boy. I call him boy. His name's Ginger Nut, but he's like, hey, boy, and acts like a dog. But he's such a coolest cat, such loyal, and all he wants is this love. Because I think because he didn't hit it. Yeah, I think because he didn't hit it when he was a kitten, like he was abandoned. And how it came about is that we had to put my wife's cat's name, Gucci, my wife's cat's down. And the day that we put her down and buried her, so we did it properly, of course. I didn't go out there, you know, and did something nasty. So we went to the vet, put her down. We had a little ceremony, sweaters and that. And we had cat doors, and lo and behold, Ginger Nut came inside the house. My oldest daughter, who's got some anxiety sort of thing, she freaked out, but now he's just part of the family. And he used to be my bed buddy, but now he's sort of sleeping with my oldest daughter, youngest daughter.
Yeah, they find their spots. They find their spots where they're comfortable and safe. And
yeah, and he's just so awesome. But I know he's still part wild, and we're on a rural, also on a main road. And there's some days I'm thinking, man, I'm going to come home and I'm not going to find him.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to hit me hard. I think I know it will hit me hard. It will definitely hit me hard. It's funny how pets do that to you, but you form a bond.
Yeah, it's like ancient too, because it's like cats and dogs have been around several thousand years we know of, and they've always been around like human beings pretty much. Like dogs are like the domesticated version of wolves, basically. Like they're more friendly, whereas wolves are wilder. Cats, like they say, in over like several thousand years, cats haven't actually become domesticated the way genetically like dogs have. They're still basically like the same as not a wild animal, but they've got that independence where they could wander off and all that. But they can also adapt to living with people. So they haven't really changed since the time of the Egyptians, whereas dogs, like genetically, are a bit different from wolves and all that after being, hunting and everything with people.
Now, did your cat ever bring in like rodents, animals, lizards?
He didn't. I've had other cats in the past, like when I lived with my mum's out in the country. Like we had one called Abby, and there was field mice, and she would do that every day. Field mice, sometimes a rat, sometimes a small baby rabbit, and she would leave them on the door for the family. Pedro didn't do that, but if he found field mice, he would kill them, and you'd find a headless mouse now and then in the backyard.
Nah, Ginger,
I actually found one in the backyard the day after he died, which freaked me out because I thought he didn't get that one from on the grave. I thought some other cat in the neighborhoods wandered through and left it there. It's like there's a little offering the day after he died. There was a little headless mouse out there.
Yeah, Ginger brings it in, and like he tries to be proud of me, Daddy.
Yeah,
it's like you're a good hunter, but leave it outside. But he doesn't understand it. He's like, be proud of me. And then the mouse basically runs away, and I'm like, yep, there's another mouse trap underneath the underneath this sort of the library bookcase or whatever. My throat's getting quite sore.
Cool. Oh, let's wrap up. We've had a second tour, but we'll be back for a third tour down the track sometime.
With my battle fatigue.
Yeah.
So what? Next time we'll do season 3.
Yeah,
which is a lot deeper and darker.
Yeah. KARL Withers, man.
KARL Withers, yep.
Chobs. And he's in bloody Rockies and everything. Rest of the development.
Oh shit, yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much for coming on the show. It's been awesome.
Oh, no worries, brother. I mean, I'm almost tempted to do season 2 again, but midway to see how things sort of progress. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's your baby, but
it's a fantastic show. Like we can come back, talk season 3. We can always do sequels down the track if you want to talk about individual episodes.
Oh yeah,
or whatever. I mean, the future's wide open.
Yeah. Oh, actually, here's something that's really weird. Right. So when our oldest daughter was born, and she was quite restless, and I was working on the farm. So I was living on the farm. The only thing that sort of calmed her down a bit was me putting on, and it would have been season 1 of Tour Duty, and when they were getting attacked at night. So either the gunfire or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so when I was playing this last night, she turned around and says, Dad, I know this. I said, well, funny story. When you were really young and really, you couldn't get to sleep, I put this on
white
and then
noise.
basically, kind of like the white noise. You basically did fall asleep.
I listen to stuff every night to fall asleep. Otherwise, I don't fall asleep.
Oh, mate, I'm struggling to get some sleep lately, and I know I'm telling myself off. I'm going, Campbell, this is how you got burnt out last year.
Yeah.
You need
I
to get
listen
some
to
sleep, bro.
podcasts and sometimes film commentaries, whatever. I just chuck stuff on, leave it playing, and eventually I fall asleep.
Yeah. I think because I'm also using this to like emails and whatever because I'm doing the toy fair.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest curse. I think I need to.
Oh, my trick is I have a separate. Actually, I'll show you. It's right here. So I've got like that's like my work phone, right, for work and all that.
Yep.
And I have this crappy old one that's like a cheap one from up at the shops. This one is not on the phone network. It's just on our home Wi-Fi. And I use this at night to listen to podcasts and that. So I can't. There's no emails. There's no nothing. It's just it's all I use it for. It's not. I can't make calls or text or nothing on it. So it's a separate. I used to use it on my iPod, but then they started phasing them out. So basically, this replaced my old iPod, so I can just listen to stuff on it.
Yeah,
I just have them all bookmarked in there. So I've got multiple shows I listen to, and I have them open in the tabs, so I can just go to them and load up the shows.
Well, funny enough, where I work, and hopefully my boss is going to watch this. So I've got a watch, a smartwatch, and it's got earbuds in there, so I can actually take one of the earbuds, only one of them out in my ear, and I can still listen to that at the same time because it's funny. Your ears start to pick up if the machinery is doing something a bit weird.
Yeah, if it makes a different noise, you hear it.
You hear it, but even then, I can still and the good thing about it is that I can just tap my watch and pause, and I can hear the boss, but it's so tiny you can't even tell I'm wearing it. I should actually paint it fresh tone color to my ears.
Yeah. You need a fake prosthetic ear to go over the top of the earpiece, and then there's no way I can see it hiding underneath.
Oh, that's awesome, buddy. All right, man.
Okay, I'm going to play the outro, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks so much, Kimbo, for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, yeah, next time, brother. There's always, the more tour duty to come.
Next time on Kiwi GI Customs. Like that. Okay, we're out of here.
All right. Pretty good, bro.